I make a podcast episode every single day for 365 days. You will be hated for speaking the truth.
You definitely have like an X-ray goggles on where you can see someone's aura.
A house divided against itself shall not stand. Matthew chapter 12, verse 25.
If you want to make something of yourself, forget your political beliefs.
Because different believers experience God in different ways, different non-believers need different explanations to see God as real. Things that make you angry suck you in.
Satan's plan fails, right? And God's plan prevails.
So I went to ChatGPT and asked it for a list of deep, spicy, thought-provoking type of questions to maybe expose some things or just to be a little bit interesting. This is like a live Q&A, I guess, whatever you want to call it, but first of all, this isn't live, and second of all, like, you know, I don't really have the followers to do Q&As right now, but hopefully in the future, if you enjoy what I got here, it can give you a taste. So if you have some interesting questions for me, I will absolutely love to do some Q&As like this in the future. So I turned to ChatGPT. Some of the questions it gave me wasn't the greatest, but I have compiled a list here of some of the weirdest, spiciest, craziest questions that ChatGPT gave me, and I'm going to answer them truly, completely honestly. I'm not going to tell a single lie. I'm going to be completely real in terms of, you know, what I'm dealing with, what I personally think about each and every topic and situation that is going to come up today. So if you enjoyed this video, I ask that you leave a like, subscribe to the 365 Podcast YouTube channel, and follow on Spotify and TikTok. I'll leave those links in the description below. As always, I make an episode every single day for a whole year. There's so much great content that I've made. I'm trying my best. This is season 2 of the show. I'm trying my best to make better content every single day for you guys. And I think I've done pretty well. Last couple of episodes have been very good. So when you're done this one, go check out those. But without further ado, let's get right into this, I guess, AI, ChatGPT, Q&A type of thing. But it's going to be fun. So strap in. So here we go. The first question. What's an opinion you have that would get you destroyed in the comments? I mean, I could go on and on. Like, I can say something like that Charlie Kirk was killed by the government, that Andrew Tate is a positive influence to modern society, that Donald Trump is not a good person, but not for the reason that liberals think, and actually probably by saying that Jesus Christ is the one true Son of God. I'm just going to leave it at that. I could go on and on and on about certain things that absolutely not a lot of people would agree with. A lot of people would agree with Jesus Christ being the Son of God, because I try to make this podcast very, very God-based and very Christian-based type of thing, talking about these types of things. But I always get like the odd atheist in my comments saying some BS, right? Just talking about some like, oh, the theory of relativity and the moral relativism. Dude, like, come on. So I could go on and on. They asked for one, but I gave you a few because I'm that generous. And, you know, whatever you want, you know, take it how you will, you know. Sometimes maybe you actually do destroy me in the comments, maybe you don't, you know. So, take it how you will. What's a social rule you think is completely stupid? For me, this is pretty easy. I think there's a couple of rules. Number one, the fact that you have to drink alcohol at a party to have a good time. And number two, that when you're in a relationship with someone, you have to have sex with them. I think those are a couple ones. And it's like it is a very societal rule, these things, right? And it's like, I know for a fact that you can have just as much fun without drinking, right? Without purposely putting toxic substances and poison into your own body and destroying the temple that God's given you. And a similar thing, like just because you love a person and you're in a relationship with someone doesn't mean you have to have sex with them. Like, you can love them and just have a good time with them, and you can wait, right? Me personally, I would wait till marriage, because I think the whole point is sex is a sacred thing, and it's been perverted in modern society because it's now normal, right? Party culture is normal that way. I think it's possible to have a good time without drinking, without having sex in any regard. And you can just have a good time, talk to some people, meet some new people. And I think that's absolutely possible. Again, maybe my opinions will change, but I think it's just stupid, really, that you have to drink. And it's like, or you have to buy an alcoholic beverage and you have to drink it. You have to purposefully poison yourself because there's this hidden societal thing that, like, oh, the only way you can have fun is by being an idiot and being stupid and being so drunk that, like, you jump on the table and you're dancing, being stupid and all that kind of stuff. Like, I think that is dumb. I think that you can absolutely have a great time without drinking, and you can have a great relationship without having sex. So that is what I would say to that. What's something people brag about that actually isn't that impressive? Well, first and foremost, like, cars, money, status, success, body count. I'd say that's it. Like you're like, oh, for guys, it's like, the double standard of guys. If a girl has a lot of bodies, you kind of, you say she's you'll call her names and stuff. But if a guy has a lot of bodies, you'll call him like a stud, a player, all that kind of stuff. It's that double standard. But I think it's stupid. Like there's nothing noble and nothing valiant about having sex with a bunch of different women. Like, that's just not noble. That's just not something that is worth bragging about. Like, if that was me, I'd be embarrassed. I'd be embarrassed if I said I had one body, let alone hundreds, right? And also, like, materialistic things, just in general, right? When I go through, like, I love cars. Like, I'm a very big car guy. I love a fast car. Like, one day I hope to get one for myself just to enjoy it. But I'm not having it just to flex on people, just to brag about it to people. Oh, I have this car, right? Or whatever materialistic success that really means nothing. Like, it doesn't make a difference, right? You can have a Toyota Corolla and it gets you places in the same way that your Lamborghini gets you places, right? You can have a Honda Civic and it's actually more reliable than the sports cars, because sports cars you can only use in certain times and they are more likely to break down, whereas the Honda Civic will get you through thick and thin, right? It's not flashy, but it's like, to say that, oh, because you spend more money on this thing because it's super cool. I would, because it's cool, but I wouldn't do because I'm bragging to people about it. And a lot of people, because of social media as well, it becomes this thing where you post it online and you're just literally showing off your lifestyle and you're bragging about it, right? And it's like to me, it's not impressive. Like, I don't really care, right? I don't really care about your materialistic success, because we know that the way we live our life is beyond money. It's beyond materialism. There's deeper meaning that we have. There's much more deeper meaning that we have to our lives than focusing on materialistic things. And I think when you ask the question, what do I not find impressive? I think it would be that, and of course the body count type of thing as well. That's what I would say for that one. If your search history from the last week was read out loud, how screwed would you be? Now, this is a spicy one. So I kind of I have a trick, because I always clear my search history no matter what I search up. So it's like, okay, it's like, it doesn't really count. But let's hypothetically say that I didn't clear it, because I know what I searched and I know what I watched and stuff like that. I don't think it would be that bad. I think there'd probably be a couple of things in there. I'm not going to reveal what specifically. There'd probably be a couple of things in there, but I don't think it actually is like that bad. Like, most of it's just like YouTube scrolling that I fell into, that I'm embarrassed that I fell into, like a bunch of YouTube scrolling and a couple other things that I've been searching up a lot for, like, personal growth reasons. And you'd actually probably see just how many ChatGPT questions I had to generate, because there were a bunch of them that didn't really apply to me, a bunch of them that I didn't really find spicy enough for me to get the list of questions. So, you can expose me in that way if that's anything. But I don't think there was anything that crazy, hypothetically, if everything was left on there. If I didn't clear my history all the time, which I always make sure to do, I don't think it would be that bad. There'd probably be a couple things. You could probably get me with a couple of things, let's be real. But, that stays personal and that stays a secret. What's something toxic about yourself that you've had to work on? For me, the most obvious thing is anger. Anger is a big problem for me. Sometimes I just wake up in the morning and I'm mad. That happened today as well. Like, I'd be playing soccer and it wouldn't go my way. I'd be competitive in some regard and it wouldn't go my way, and I'd get pissed off, right? I'd get mad at people, or I'd just be mad at myself. I'd swear and curse, and it's just a toxic thing. And I know it is, and I'm trying to do better. But it's very hard. It's very hard when I'm trying to figure out where I'm going in my life and trying to figure out how I can be more content rather than being angry, or at least put the anger into better things than hurting people. And sometimes I think I fall way too far on that ladder of hurting others. So with anger, it really is a big issue for me. It's been an issue for quite a while now. Even as a kid, it was anger, but anger became like, crying type of thing was what it was as a kid. And now crying and sadness has kind of shifted to like rage. And that is definitely not something that I am proud of. It is not something that I want to keep being in. So I'm trying my best. I'm trying my absolute best to make it out and do better in that regard, to be a better person to others and treat others in a better way, which I think it takes time, but it's way better to be a good person than to always be angry and mad at people, at circumstances that really you can't control. And I understand these concepts, but just in the moment of emotion, heightened emotions, I fall way too often. So that is really the biggest thing by far that I'm dealing with right now. What's the most confusing mixed signal you've ever received? So there was actually one time where I was in elementary school, like late elementary school, and like there was this girl who was like always picking on me, like purposefully kind of going out of her way to like make fun of me. And it's like we had like a little friend group. Like I wasn't really the most liked kid in elementary school, I'm gonna be honest, because I was a stupid kid. Like I'm gonna be completely real. But for the most part, like people would either just like ignore me or leave me alone, or like there was the group of the bullies that would actually bully me. But then I'd have my friends where we were kind of chill with each other pretty much. And then there was the girl that was in this friend group, and she would always like pick on me. She would always like tease me and bully me in this way. And it's like I actually look back on that, and it's like I look back on that and I'm like, did she like me, and was she saying something to me? Like, was this her way of showing that she liked me? It could absolutely just be me being stupid. Like me being just overthinking it. But I really do think it's like she kind of went out of her way to like tease me, and it never was anything really mean. Like it was never anything really like she hated me. Like actually maybe she did. I don't know. That's why it's mixed signals. I'm just like I have no idea. That's why that's the whole point of the question. It's mixed signals. It could have just been she just didn't like me. But we were in the friend group. We talked often enough. Like when we were chill, we were chill. But when she felt like it, she would tease me. So I'm over here like, is it because she liked me? I don't know. Only she knows. And only God knows. I have no idea. Because I haven't spoken to her since. So it's like, I'm not trying to open those doors again. Let's say that much. But that's why it's mixed signals. Because I don't even know. So, I don't, maybe it's a spicy answer. I don't know. Like, let me know. But I don't think there is a world where she just didn't like me and she just hated me, and what she was saying was really true. But there's also a world where I look back on it and I feel like maybe there were absolutely mixed signals in there and some sort of hidden message in there. Again, could just be me. What's a harsh truth about life that most people avoid admitting? This is a pretty good question, man. And I'd say that it's as simple as the thing that you don't want to do is the thing that you have to do, that you ought to do, that you should do, that is the thing that is going to make you have a good life. Like, it's easy in concept, right? It's easy to watch David Goggins and be fired up and stuff like that. But it's harder when you actually wake up at 5 a.m. and you feel terrible, and the calling for you to go back to your nice warm bed, and you're going out in the cold and going out for a run and doing that every single day. Like, it's much easier in concept, in theory, than it is in practice to do something that you don't want to do. Like, I sometimes find it in myself that when someone asks me to do something, I'd complain first. I'd go through like, oh man, why do I have to do this? Yeah, blah, 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 blah. And then eventually I do it. But it's like, can't I just do it without complaining? But I would always complain first because it's just something I don't want to do that's annoying, and it's just a little bit of a pain in the butt, But it's like doing those things that you don't want to do is where you will find the answer. The thing that you're not really sure about, that thing that like you're like, for example, if someone asks you to do something and you don't want to do it, doing it for them and making the sacrifice will make that relationship better in the long run. Because then the other person will see you as the person that does things, that you do things for her, you make sacrifices for them despite you not wanting to. And that improves the relationship. That's just a small example. But in every aspect of life, it is doing the things you don't want to do that makes the biggest difference. And a lot of people don't do the things they don't want to do. They always focus on what they do want to do and what they're comfortable in. But it's stepping outside of that zone of comfort that is hard for so many people, that a lot of people really can't bear at times. That really, where you will find the answers to life, where you will find life's greatest joy and life's greatest fulfillment, is in those things you don't want to do. So it's a harsh truth, but it's a harsh truth, and I think a lot of people know it. But I think what I'm trying to separate here is the difference between knowing it and actually doing it. The difference between theorizing it and actually when the emotions are present in a real life circumstance, to actually overcome those emotions and break through the laziness, break through your angry feelings, whatever you might be needing to break through it, to go do the things you don't want to do, and actually put maximum effort and maximum output to them. And that is where you will find great change and great success in your life. So the difference between theorizing and actually doing it is a pretty big difference, right? There's people that just scroll and watch motivational content all day and they don't actually do anything. They're wasting their time watching motivational content all day, right? Versus the people that will watch something and will internalize and be like, yeah, that makes sense. So let's go out and actually do something different. So I think I've kind of painted the picture enough. If I haven't, well, I'm sorry, but I got to move on. There's a lot of other questions here to go through. So that's the point, is that it's like, it's in the difficulties, in the thing that you don't want to do. And that is where you will find life's answers, basically. What moment in your life changed the way you see everything? I think it's not, like, if I had to put it down to one moment, the moment for me was me going to Portugal. Me deciding that I didn't want to go straight into university and I wanted to go pursue becoming a professional footballer, which was my ultimate dream since a kid. I think there were a lot of different experiences within that, leading up to that. And of course, in the years that I spent there and the time I spent in Spain and the time after that, in like my regrouping phase back in Canada. But if you don't know the story, I've made videos and podcasts about it. Maybe I'll tell the story again in the future. But like, I think that was really a big moment. It was really what made me, like those moments that followed me making that decision showed me, first of all, it revealed God to me. Like, I actually wasn't a very big believer in Jesus back then. And it revealed God to me going through these experiences, which is obviously amazing as always. And I learned about different cultures, different styles of life, learning how to make sacrifices, the difficulty, mental barriers, mental challenges, things I need to overcome, physical barriers as well, and just the pursuit of a bigger goal, the pursuit of something difficult, right? Like truly, like what it means to truly give your all to something and what it means to not give your all to something. That would be a lot of the lessons I learned from my whole football journey, really. But if I had to put it down to one moment, it was the decision to say, I'm going to do something different than the average person. I'm going to go and pursue my dreams rather than going straight into university right away, right out of high school like everyone else does, or go straight into the workforce type of thing. I'm going to go pursue something that really means something to me. And I think that has value in and of itself, that I did decide to go and do that. Like, it makes me a little bit more valued. Like, a lot of people respect me for making that decision. That's obviously also a positive thing. And just all of what I've learned has kind of changed, shifted, maybe improved the way I see life, right? And of course, finding God and experiencing God and experiencing Jesus in my life and reading his word and learning about the works of God has always, of course, changed my perspective on the way that I see things. Like, if I had gotten a girlfriend in like 2022, 2023, I probably would have like had sex with her, right? Because that is like, I wasn't really a big believer. I didn't really have these things where it's like, oh, I'm going to wait till marriage because that's what God wants me to do, right? I didn't really have any of that back then. I only found it after kind of going through these big life changes, moving to a new country kind of on my own, trying to meet new people, learning a new language and experiencing different things, different cultures. That is what kind of changed my perspective on a lot of things. Obviously, as I touched upon before in an earlier question when it came to the whole sex thing. I think that really is true. And it's like, as much as there were a lot of things in there, if you had to put it down to one moment, it was the moment that I made that decision to make it happen. So maybe not even maybe it wasn't even like the actual day I made it. It was the moment I made the decision that I was going to do something different with my life. That is what opened the door for so much change. What's something you're still trying to prove to yourself? Man, just reading that question out loud just makes me think. Like Like perhaps I'm trying to prove to myself that I'm actually able to work hard, that I actually am an ambitious person, that I actually do give full effort to things. And maybe there is a small part of me that still wants to give football another crack at it, and see if it is see if I can truly make better things happen than what has already happened in my life. Like if I can do even more with this journey. But I think it's like, yeah, sometimes like the people around me, they say they have respect for me. They say they like if you watch the recent episode with Michael, which is my close friend that we did last week. Obviously, you can go watch that. That was a great episode. That was the beginning of season 2. He said that I was the most ambitious person that he knows, and that thing sits with me. Like even if it was just like on a podcast, like that still sits with me. The fact that like the people around me see me like that, and I feel personally that I'm not that. That I really do have a lot more to like. I really do like fall short in so many circumstances and so many aspects that it makes me feel like I'm not worthy. I'm not deserving of that respect, of that like the people looking at me as this ambitious person, because I think I'm still trying to prove to myself that I am that type of a person, that I am the type of person that will work hard and give maximum effort, because I feel like sometimes I really don't. And that really sits deep with me, right? Sometimes I have an ego that gets shattered, that I don't deserve to have the ego because I haven't merited it. I haven't worked hard enough for it, right? And so I have like this premature type of pride that I need to put to the side, not just because I know it's bad based on biblical principle, but because it is kind of creating this weird inner dynamic and dilemma within me. So perhaps I am trying to prove to myself that I am a good player, that I am good enough to make it, that I am able to work hard, and I am actually this ambitious person that people say I am. And I want to be that. Sometimes I feel like I'm not. So maybe that if that is something I would say, I'd say that is what I would have to really prove. Like if I don't know if I always want to prove things, because I know God is always watching no matter what, and God tests your hearts, and he knows what's happening, right? But obviously it would be nice for me to have that internal satisfaction as well. Like I understand that. I understand how that works. So I think that is what I would say with regards to that question as to how I would truly prove, like what I have to prove. I think it is that internal knowledge that I am actually the type of person that other people say that I am. I feel like sometimes I'm not that, and I want to be that. I'd love to be that. So that's the point. It's just like I'm not just saying it because like, oh, it's like this external standard that these other people are setting for me. No, it's because I actually would like to be that type of a person myself internally. And I definitely feel like there are times that I fall short and that I am not that. What's the biggest lie people tell in relationships? I love you. That's the lie. like like we're gonna talk specifically about romantic relationships. We're not gonna talk about like family, friends, relationships. This question is specifically for like intimate, loving relationships. That is the biggest lie, just by definition. I don't need to be in a relationship to know that that is the biggest lie, because in all relationships you'll say that you love them, right? You will kind of like grind your teeth and spit it out between your teeth, but in reality, in the background you're cheating, or in the background you're actually slowly loathing them and having resentment towards them and building hatred up towards them, right? Whereas you're just saying the words "I love you," but your actions don't really prove that you love this person. It is just like this validation that you love this person. So it is just to make them think that you love them, that you're there for them, and that you're with them, and that is what is like the ride or die type of thing. That I think that is by definition the biggest lie that people tell in relationships, is that they actually love the other person. Sometimes it's true, right? Just because it's said everywhere. It can sometimes absolutely be true, and that's fine. But in relationships that are toxic, in relationships that are on and off, right? Like you take a lot of breaks, right? Like your situationship type of thing. There's a lot of "I love you." There's a lot of that like manipulation of the emotion of love that is in there, that causes all of these toxins and causes all of these problems, because the love's not real and it's not true. It's just words you're saying. So that is the biggest lie in relationships, just by purely by definition, and purely by like the amount of people that say it, like the amount of people, just surely by like I'm trying to what's the term? I forgot the term, but like just because of how many people say it, a lot of people that actually don't love them will also be saying it as well. So just by definition, that is just at its core the biggest lie told in relationships. What's something about you that would surprise people that think they know you well? That's a good one as well, man. There are probably a couple of things. Like maybe one thing is that I make music, that I made a few beats and I've made a few songs in my time, and I'm currently working on trying to make a few things, like kind of just sporadically on the side. It's just like a hobby, really. It's just like a thing I'm just doing for fun. Whenever I have like an extra little bit of time, I just do it for fun. It's not something I'm like incredibly dedicated to, but it is something that's pretty cool. And at times, whenever I have that inspiration, let's say that artistic inspiration, that creative inspiration, I definitely dabble within it a little bit. So I feel like that is something that not a lot of people know, and that would be maybe a little bit surprising. But what else, man? What else? Maybe it's surprising in and of itself that I have these internal dilemmas, that a lot of people see me as this ambitious person, and a lot of people have respect for me, and maybe it would be a surprise to them that I don't even see myself as that. I think that like that in and of itself, connecting those questions together a little bit would be a surprise to a lot of people, that somehow I'm able to have like this big ego at times, and other times I'm like so self-deprecating that it's toxic, and I can't find that balance. So it's either one or the other. You can't really have anywhere in between, and I need to find somewhere in between, because that in between is where fulfillment is. It's where I can be comfortable and confident in myself more consistently, rather than just being emotionally everywhere at many different times. So perhaps that I'd say, like, just the way I see myself might be different, so different from the way other people see me. And I want to think of one more thing just to kind of make it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more spicy. All right, I'll just say that I'm a guy that really loves baseball. How about that? Like, I love soccer. Football is obviously the number one as always, but I've been really, really getting into baseball in a level that like a lot of people don't really realize. Because I used to really trash baseball for being like a boring, slow sport. But now I'm really loving it. Mostly because of the Blue Jays run, and now because of the World Baseball Classic, the international tournament. It's really exciting. It's actually been very, very entertaining for me to watch personally. It's been a very, very good thing that I've loved to do. So even if I talk about it a little bit, and there are probably certain people around me that know that I really like baseball, I think there are definitely a lot of people that would be surprised if like there was a baseball game on the TV, like at a restaurant or something. I was like so locked in looking at it because I love the sport. I've grown to love the sport so much. I think a lot of people would be surprised by that. I'm sorry that it wasn't anything so deep. I think I went as deep as I could on the previous example, but yes, those are some things that I'd say that a lot of people don't really know about me, and would probably be surprised that I do. And this is the last question coming up right now. And it is pretty spicy, so let's go. What's the most selfish thing you've ever done? And honestly, when I look at it introspectively, it really makes sense to me that the most selfish thing I've ever done was also me deciding to go to Portugal and go pursue my dream to become a professional football player. Just by sheer definition. It's my dream. It's what I want to do. Right? I didn't want to go to school, and I would prefer to go and chase my dream. So that meaning leaving family behind and focusing solely on myself. Obviously the mistakes I made along the way, of course. Like whether like I actually did well that I didn't really cut people off. Like I still kept communication with everyone, which was great. But just physically being in a different place for an extended period of time. And instead of talking to certain people every single day, it's only like once a week or a couple times a month type of thing. Just by definition, that's a selfish thing because I'm doing it for me. I'm not doing it for anyone else. I definitely wasn't doing it for the glory of God because I didn't really believe back then. That was truly for me and for me only. And I think it was still a good decision. I think it was still absolutely something that was amazing that I would do all over again if I had the chance. But it was for me. And it was truly for me. And if you had to really be honest about what is selfish is doing something for yourself. And And as much as there were many great things in there, as much as I found my faith in God as well as a part of it, and as much as I feel like maybe it was also God's hand as well involved in this whole decision making and in my whole football journey, I still think that in that moment, the decision was definitely very much based on what I wanted, not what anyone else wanted. Like if I did what my parents wanted, I would have just gone to school, and that's what they would have wanted for me. They say all the time to me that they would not have wanted me to do that. But they're not mad at me for it. They're actually like pretty okay with it. It's like it is what it is. Life's gone, like, life's happened, right? And it's like I don't regret it, and that's what matters, and that's I appreciate them for it. But it's like I look back on it, it's like, yeah, like it's for me. Obviously, I'm not doing this for anyone else. I'm not doing this. I'm not making this decision for any other reason. So just purely based on that fact, yeah, it's for me. So of course, this was a selfish thing, and this was the most selfish thing in my life, because at least up until this point in my life, that's probably the biggest decision that I've had to make, and that is what I decided to do with it. And I think looking back on it, it was the right decision. I think that, it's my opinion. Maybe it's too early to say that because I'm still super young, but I think it was the right decision. Even if it was something that, if you fundamentally look at it, it was very selfish. It really was. And I'm just going to add on to that a little bit. That was the most selfish thing, but I think I've had moments where I've definitely felt like I am too selfish. Even after finding faith in God and in Jesus Christ, I found that sometimes, yeah, maybe sometimes in a day, I would focus on, waking up, going to the gym, instead of doing something that my family needs me to do that day, I decide to either put it off and do it late, or not do it at all because I'm going to the gym, I'm making an episode, I'm editing videos and stuff, and I'm doing things that are for me. Honestly, recently a lot of what I do is kind of for me. I'm not really doing too much for others. I'm making some sacrifices here and there, but it really is a lot of it's for me, right? And it's like if I don't have my way, it's like sometimes it gets iffy. And I look at that and it's like, yeah, this is like a life value type of thing. It's like I think too often I focus too much on myself. And what me finding my faith is doing is me realizing that, is allowing me to realize that I don't really put as much onto God as I should. And I don't really help others as much as I should right now. I think a lot of what I'm still doing day to day is just for me. And again, looking back on it, fundamentally seems selfish. So I'm trying my best. I'm working hard. I'm going to improve on these things. But yeah, I'm just leaving it all out there, truly just answering these questions as best I can. So I think that's all I got. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was spicy. I hope you learned a thing or two about me, and I hope that you were entertained for today. I hope you found some level of entertainment from today's episode. That's what I'm trying to do. It doesn't always have to be this deep self-improvement type of thing, although some of the questions were like that. It doesn't have to be this deep self-improvement mindset type of thing. It can be a little bit fun sometimes. And I hope I tapped into some of that energy today. I really did my best to have a laugh a little bit, laugh at myself, and talk about some fun stories and some funny experiences that not a lot of people really know about. Of course, if you enjoyed, as always, like the video, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify. I appreciate your support in the show. And if you're still here, of course, I appreciate you for watching this episode the whole way through, as always. So I'm going to wrap it up now. Going to go, move on, get this video out there for you guys to watch. And I really hope you enjoyed it. So as always, I wrap it up and I say what I say every day. I'll see you tomorrow for the next episode of the 365 Day Podcast.